All right, we ready?
Yeah, we're ready. I'm ready. I'm a death knight.
Bronson to Death Knight. All right, and hello and welcome to a special edition of Super Gamecast. Here is your host, Bronson Fiore.
Hi, it's a holiday weekend and we're kind of feeling fucking lazy. So instead of doing a proper show, what we are doing is going ahead and just kind of playing video games and talking about the news.
Yeah, just a
So
casual
simple.
Gamecast.
Yeah, so normally we do the thing where we're on camera and we're going ahead and talking about the news in a structured format, and most of the time I go ahead and set up notes for us and shit like that. Nah,
Nah,
not today.
This is Labor Day weekend, which means kick your feet up, lay back. We're here to have a good time.
No labor today.
No labor.
Uh,
Uh, Jesse, HR Ninja is here.
Hello.
He's here.
hey,
I'm labor, sort of.
Yeah, you are labor. I mean, yeah. I am very much
Uh,
not labor. I, Aaron Reynolds, am unemployed. I am embodying Labor Day weekend to the fullest.
for me it depends.
It depends.
Because on the one hand, work days for me are so varied right now.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, because I have some days where it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, it never stops. It never stops.
Right.
And then I have some days where it's just like I handle a handful of tickets, and then that's my day.
Well, I mean, even if it's a light work day, you're still working. You're still doing labor.
Yes, you are, but it doesn't feel like it as much when you answer like 5 tickets and then space out most of the day.
I bet it feels like it when you want to play World of Warcraft and you can't because you're laboring.
Yes, you are correct.
So
that is the tone.
Yes, we are going to try. I want to try to put this out in an audio format. Put this out as the Gamecast regular, and just see how people like it. See what's going on. So to let the audio listeners in, you're gonna be hearing sounds and music in the background. That is World of Warcraft. Bronson is running his paladin through Dragonflight right now.
Yeah, I flipped over to my Death Knight to check on something, but
never mind. Yeah, he's on his Death Knight now. That's right. So that's going on.
Hey,
yeah.
You want to see a really cool spell?
Sure. Yes, I would love to see a really cool spell.
All right.
Who doesn't love a really cool spell?
To be honest, I'm only here for the really cool spells.
Exactly.
Okay.
Fuck the news.
All right. Well, all right.
All right. We got purple lightning. All right. Purple effects. Is that a demon or is that someone else? You just summoned some evil things.
These are my zombies.
These are your thriller zombies.
Yeah. Can I summon more? No, but I can't.
If you hit slash dance, do they dance with you?
I wish.
I feel like that's a no-brainer.
So sick, right?
I so wish. I don't think they made a dance animation for these guys.
I'm gonna send an email to Blizzard to get this fixed. So, but that's cool.
And now I'm down to my one zombie.
There you go. You got one zombie.
Zombie.
Yeah. I think let's go ahead. We can talk about what we've been playing first, if you like, because 2 of us have been playing a certain game quite a bit.
Yeah, you started playing WoW.
I started playing WoW again. So
I was surprised how fast you hit Dragonflight.
That leveling experience is quick for an MMO. Let me tell you.
Yes, yes, it is.
You just pick one and you mainline that story, and before you know it, you hit 60. And the game itself is like, I'm like in the middle of the Legion story, and the game's like, all right, get out of there. What are you doing? Get.
What are you doing?
Come on.
Get to the island.
Yes, which I have criticized. So this has been my thing about that, and I've had conversations with guildies about it. I've had conversations with different people about it, and they kind of all are of a different mind about it. Mm-hmm. Which I think that they should absolutely go ahead and give you a full story when leveling. I really I'm a firm believer that they should do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know some people are like, dude, no, people just want to get to cap as soon as possible. I'm like, okay, but they could do this, so like you can select what you want. Like you can go ahead and be like, hey, I only want, I really don't give a shit about this story at all. I just want to level as fast as possible, or I want a full narrative.
Right, right.
And they could very easily do that.
So
But
here is my problem, based on my experience, because I went through I went from level 33 to 60 in a matter of a couple days.
yep.
And my experience with that story was such that one expansion story was not enough to gain proper context for anything that was happening.
So, but the problem is you didn't see the full expansion story because you never do unless you're playing it currently.
Right.
Because you don't see the raid or any of the raids, which is where a lot of the big stuff concludes.
But then there's also the established story of what World of Warcraft is that makes sense if you were playing from the beginning and you played through all the expansions. Now that's a lot of content. It would be ridiculous. Like Final Fantasy is eventually going to have to find a way to cut through all their story because it's too much.
I think they're there at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna cut through any of it, to be honest.
I think it would really hurt their story, which is the prime thing to go to Final Fantasy 14 for. Whereas like World of Warcraft, I feel bad for skipping over the story because it makes me like I don't care about anything that's happening in it, but otherwise like I would never get to the end game because it's just constant story. And like, yeah, it's about priorities, and so like trying to find that middle ground between the two is very difficult.
So this is the solution I have here, which is if you for WoW at least, Final Fantasy, my solution is okay, trim out parts of ARR and Heavensward and Stormblood. Because there are parts of all three of those that I'm just like, can we just get to the fucking point already?
I mean, especially with, yeah, you know what? That's not. I think, yeah, especially as time goes on, like some of those you could trim out. There's a lot. It's filler. It's not necessarily filler, but it is filler, especially in regards to the larger story. Like Stormblood, there's a lot of cool, just little moments of getting to know each area and their citizens and their struggles, and that's like the whole point of Stormblood. But when you're attached to this larger story, you can sum that up with a couple of them.
Yeah, which I get that. Nah, man, like
ARR especially can be shortened. Oh man.
Yes, there are parts of ARR where I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Why are we doing this? Yeah, that and Heavensward were the two where I was just like, please, for the love of fucking God. And even Stormblood has parts where I'm just like, for Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't care. Just let me go. Let me do my thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, which WoW completely went the exact opposite direction, where it's like the story's there if you want it and you want to see it, but
otherwise, like nearly every mission is go kill 10 of these things, and it's just an opportunity for you to like, all right, if you leveled up, you learned a new move. All right, you've attached it to your hotbar. All right, how are you incorporating that into your rotation?
Yes,
and for gameplay purposes, I get that.
I mean, yeah, I completely understand it because it's one of those things where just if you had to, I believe there are cutoff points where you can make the WoW story enjoyable for people who are new and don't want to play from what would be Cataclysm onward, because that's where they had their last reset. I think you could do that.
Yeah.
I think that I think that they are currently actually fairly right in that Legion is a pretty good cutoff. Like, I think starting you in BFA now makes a lot of sense. But the problem is I think what they should do for, like, BFA, for example, is well, so we have a new expansion coming, but if I were waving a wand and doing it today, because I don't know what the new expansion is and what that story is, but if I were to wave a wand today, I would say, okay, you do Exile's Reach, and then you do BFA, but instead of doing just 8.0 of BFA, you do 8.0 through 8.3, and you get the full BFA story. And then you go to the Dragon Isles, because at that point you at least get a full finished story before going on to the next thing.
And we're just ignoring Shadowlands' existence entirely.
Well, the nice thing about Shadowlands is it is self-contained enough to where you can do that.
Nice. But okay, so for example, it's I am doing Dragon Isles, and there's a guy named Rathion, I think is his name.
That's Deathwing's kid.
And he has a moment where he says, "Oh, main character, I've known you for years. I'd be happy to have you come along." And as a new player, I'm just like,
who is this guy?
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. Nope. Because he was introduced in Cataclysm.
Okay.
And he became a major character throughout Pandaria and, funnily enough, the back half of Battle for Azeroth.
Sure.
So, I mean, and then honestly, what they could do, because Anthony actually thought this was a good idea, which is in Final Fantasy 16, they have this thing where they don't want to fucking just lore dump on the world to you a whole bunch. So they have this button you can press, and it like gives you a rundown of stuff you might have missed and the lore. Which it's like, this is an okay solution, I guess.
Right.
It's better than
Encyclopedia.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Like, Final Fantasy 13's like, by the way, we're not going to explain any of this stuff to you, but
yeah,
here's an encyclopedia you can read if you want to figure any of this out.
Which all of these are better than Destiny, which is go onto this website and look through, see if you can. Okay, well, I don't want to do that.
Or we have our own in-game encyclopedia, but to read it, you need to find all these items.
Yeah, yeah.
So
which, of course, the answer to that is the Dark Souls route of, I'm gonna go watch this 2-hour video on YouTube that some user put together.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that for Destiny for years.
Yeah.
For literal years. So.
And I don't know. I wonder if there's a way to just create, maybe even like create a news story mode that like MK9's the story for people who want that kind of experience. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So what I think that'd be too resource intensive, but I do think that the Dragon Isles, what they could do is give you, instead of Exile's Reach, they can make a new primer. Because Exile's Reach does a great job of teaching you the basics. You didn't do it because you had an established account.
Right.
But Exile's Reach does a good job of teaching you the basics, and I think just adjusting that around setting up Dragonflight would, because what it does currently is it's just like this kind of isolated thing, which I get because they want to make it useful for multiple expansions. Also, I'm looking at the stream. Could you size down that text blob a little bit?
The chat blocker.
Super game. Yes, because you're like, my chat is not nearly that huge.
Well, no, yeah. So I'm going to put the news article there.
Oh, okay. You're good. So yeah, like it's one of those things where I think their best solution now is at this point is to honestly just be like, okay, we're going to build a tutorial for every expansion. That is just, here is your primer for Dragonflight, and then we're gonna put you in Dragonflight.
Right.
That's the problem there is that's the new expansion, which is 60 levels later.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. I just think they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and
but I
story.
think they could. I think they could at least get you invested in the lore with my solution as well, which is like, okay, at least you get a full story instead of
Right.
a third of a story.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like when I was doing Legion, I was missing out on stuff that happened before, and part of that is because I did experience a little bit of story a couple times before this current run. When I got Cataclysm, and then before that when I got Burning Crusade. And so I know that there's other stuff going on, and then I'm not seeing any of that, and it's like, all right, you know, yeah. So it's
You could
fine.
pick up the Chronicle books.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
could.
So some of those are already outdated with the retcons that they've done, but
Oh,
like
damn.
well,
you
I
can still
mean,
pick those up and still get a pretty good idea with
those get I've read through those multiple times because I am a big fan of the lore, and I think that those are actually a really good starting point. But
it's a lot like the Encyclopedia Eorzea that you can get for Final Fantasy.
Sure.
yeah, it's basically that. Oh fuck, I fucked up.
What are you doing right now?
This is a Mythic 19 Uldaman.
Okay, wow, you are doing all right. You're pushing yourself on this stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like to take a break from my labor with labor.
True punishment. This is the life of a raid leader.
Yes. So. Anyway, so yeah, that like I think that at least getting a full interesting story for you, or they could do the like I said, the 16 thing of here is like context for who is in the scene, what they're saying,
Sure.
etc.
You know, yeah. There are ways they can do it. I don't know. At this point, I'm just not invested in anything happening, and
Well, which is totally understandable. Like they went the entire. We were talking about this before the show. They went the entire opposite of route of 14. 14 cares so much about its fucking narrative.
Yep.
To the point of, in my opinion, it's a fault. Because like there are points where I'm just like, dude, let's go. Let's get this fucking moving, please.
It does like lag at points for sure. I would say every expansion has a lagging point.
Right, but it's like, okay, I want to get to endgame where like most people are, and I want to play it like that's 300 hours in my case.
Right.
And my girlfriend is like, realistically, she said it's probably going to be somewhere in the 4 area for her.
Right.
You know, and I think
that's
that
the difference with Final Fantasy though, is that it puts itself as an RPG first and does the narrative over gameplay.
Yep.
Yeah, and that is a taste thing in my case, but like I find that incredibly fucking annoying.
Sure. But it's just different priorities.
Yep.
Yeah, it's yes, you know, like I you know, it's a very different priority, and I still think though that eventually, like, you do have to care about that gameplay part and the MMO part, or people leave.
Sure.
And I think that they don't do necessarily the best job of that.
I wouldn't know, because I'm not playing at that level. I enjoy just kind of jumping in and doing my normal dungeons and going out the journal and leveling alt jobs, and you know, maybe my thoughts will change once I get everything to level cap, but until then, not really a concern on my end. And then on World of Warcraft's part, what's not helping is that, you know, I'm trying to get to level cap, which I'm trying to do that through leveling through quests in the main story, which means I'm not doing a whole lot of dungeons or raiding, which is what World of Warcraft is actually about.
I mean, so if you want to hear the most, so unfortunately, yeah, you do. Right, you're on your first character. Sorry. Yep. If you're, so the good news is, if you ever do alts, the fastest way to level actually is to dungeon grind.
Right.
That is by far the fastest way to do it, is to get a tank friend or a healer friend and spam dungeons pretty much all day long.
Right.
The good news is, though, is like heroics are still very much training wheels. Yeah, and then they also make you run normal modes to get the gear to do heroic. So
It's kind of wild to me that something called heroics is still training wheels.
Because
It didn't used to be, but
yeah, that's a legacy problem, is what that is. Because when heroics first came out, relative to the rest of the skill level of the population, they were really fucking hard. And also, you had to do rep grinds to get the keys to go inside them. And then over time,
player skill goes up as gear goes up. Like it just becomes trivial.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, not only that, but like they made it trivial after Cataclysm. Because at the beginning of Cataclysm, they made the heroics balls to the walls hard, and the community cried about it a whole bunch.
Yep.
I don't remember if you remember that blue post ninja of Ghostcrawler basically just saying, you could get good.
Yes. He's right. He's not wrong. Like people were like, we want heroics to be hard again. We want to have to like CC, and we want to like have to actually think when we're playing these. So Blizzard was like, okay, bet. And then people were like, we didn't mean it like this. We didn't. It's not.
I'm surprised World of Warcraft people were complaining about something being too difficult.
Well, okay, so you have to remember this was like during Wrath of the Lich King.
Oh, this is like height of popularity.
Yes, and also Wrath of the Lich King, thanks to, like Ninja said, player skill going up, gear getting better, heroics in the back half of it, especially when they introduced the random dungeon finder tool. You know, like the thing that Final Fantasy has and every MMO has now, where you press a button and it gives you a group. So WoW didn't originally have that, of course, and then they added it. The problem with them adding it is they proceeded to go ahead and make, because of this though, they kind of had a problem where like doing the like harder dungeons with randos was not a good experience. But you didn't realize that because everyone was so overgeared for heroics at that point.
Got it.
They were kind of just doing them for their tombstone equivalent, if I'm using Final Fantasy. And then what ends up happening is Cataclysm comes out. The heroics are balls to the walls hard. And people are doing them in random dungeon finder, so they're doing them with randos. And
great.
If there's anything that I have learned from playing World of Warcraft, is a lot of the people who play World of Warcraft suck at the fucking game.
Right. That's another universal of MMOs.
Like, man, you know, the thing is though, and this isn't like now, whereas there's like a tiered system of like, okay, you have to do the key on this to be able to do this healer just cannot hang.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Bronson died, everyone.
I did. Oh, fuck.
Can't tell me how to spend my $15.
Don't tell me how to play the game.
I don't want to heal you. I'm not going to heal you.
Yeah, they should be healing me fine. I don't understand what's going on here. Like, I have mitigation up the whole time. Anyway.
Just because I'm a tank doesn't mean I have to aggro anyone.
That's right.
But yeah, Cataclysm came out and it made the heroics super hard. But in the past, you'd be running heroics with either people on your server who you had to interact with on a regular basis because it was localized servers only.
And people pretty quickly were like, "No, this dude's a dick," or "This dude sucks in the game. Don't group with him." And so you would.
Oh,
get
cool!
That.
That's great.
Yeah. So
no, it was great.
It was great. You could be like, "I'm not gonna take you because I know you're gonna like grief or troll, or you're just not even trying."
Yeah, because you had a reputation on your server.
Right.
But with a random dungeon finder, you were getting people from other servers, and it was just fucking You know, so you were getting people from other servers,
Yeah.
and not only so you couldn't like keep tabs on everyone,
Right.
and on top of that, the dungeons were, you know, in the past you were running with people like you knew what the fuck
Mhm,
they were doing.
mhm.
Okay. So here's my question. I was learning because we've talked about this a number of times, but now that I'm actually playing the game, we had a conversation about the amount of add-ons and how
Oh
some of them,
shit,
how
yeah.
people are
Yeah.
reliant on, like the entire
Mhm.
community is reliant on some add-ons. Is there an add-on where people are like keeping tabs on players, kind of like
Absolutely.
what people do with
Absolutely.
Twitter? Okay.
I don't
Probably.
know. I don't know if it's something that is um, like widespread or
Because the only thing,
used
the
in
only
such
way
a
it
way
really
that it
works is
builds
if
like a
it's
database.
widespread. Yeah.
Like in
Yeah.
Final Fantasy on the data centers, somebody I don't know who, but I found 2 of the 4, I think. Somebody has a spreadsheet database of players and whether or not they're good at the game, and I was and a lot of it's like everybody is ranked with one of 3 ranks. One of them is like okay to play with, great, and do not take into your party. So
Oh.
you can cross reference the spreadsheet when you're doing Party Finder.
I gotta see if I'm
But
on this
That's
spreadsheet.
it's
that's
absurd.
amazing.
It is.
That is
I'm like,
amazing.
and it's all done by one guy, and I'm like, how petty do you have to be to do this, and then lock it down so nobody else can update it?
Nothing, nothing powers innovation quite like spite. That's all I'm
Right?
saying.
Like, what did
Um,
the first guy on this list do to you
right?
that you had to go and
He was the
create a
final
list?
straw. That's what he did. Shit.
But no, but yeah, so the dungeons got super fucking hard, but now you had a random group finder element, and those 2 things combined to be an absolute shit show. So they did one more tier where heroics were hard, and then they were like, okay, we can't do this anymore. And then heroics became baby mode forever.
Yep. Yep.
Damn.
And then they put in Mr. Pandaria, they put this thing called challenge modes in, which were basically what heroics used to be, but they didn't award gear, they just awarded transmog. Really
Mhm.
cool transmogs. You actually can't get them anymore because they were locked to challenge modes that don't exist anymore.
Oh, interesting.
And and then people weren't participating in those that much,
Great.
for whatever reason. And then they added Mythic Plus to the game, which is like a continually upward scaling difficulty thing that adds new mechanics the higher up you go and new everything the higher up you go. So, like, you know,
Seems like a good
no
system.
matter. Yes, it's a great fucking idea, and I was very upset at Criterion and Variant Dungeons were not anything close to it.
Oh.
I was like, when I first read that, I was like, oh, so it's like Mythic Plus or Fractals and Guild Wars.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah.
Yep, and then man, you bamboozled, right?
Yep. Yep. Not even close.
So that was a fun experience.
It just seems like
Um,
a real easy way to have reasons for people to keep running the same dungeons over and over.
yes, and the thing is they rotate them now. So what they do is they do 4 dungeons from the current expansion and 4 dungeons from old expansions.
Right.
So it gives you and this is a Pokemon Snap minigame, by the way.
I was looking at this. Well, you are floating down this like purple river on a raft, and you're just taking pictures. Like, this is totally fucking just Pokemon Snap. Hell yeah.
Yeah. This is a mini. So this is another reason why you want to do side quests, because unlock stuff like this.
Well, that's just ridiculous. But all right.
Yeah, because this is part of the story of the Dragon Isles is there's the Dragonflight expedition or the Dragon Scale expedition who's out like, oh, we're exploring the world and exploring this continent that's never really been seen. And
This area looks like Skyrim.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just I see snowy fantasy world. I'm like, oh, it's Skyrim.
It's funny because when I first saw this zone, I was like, oh, it's Grizzly Hills, which is another WoW zone. It even has music that's similar to Grizzly Hills.
Oh, that's weird. Well, I guess you can only make so many types of zones.
I think that, and also they were like, man, Grizzly Hills is like universally beloved.
What if we did that again?
What if we did a new version of it with high-res assets and
that's
some
fair.
more story?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, all right, I'm down for that. I like fucking Grizzly Hills. Yeah, so I think that. Oh god, yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where I think that getting a full story in during the leveling experience for new people would be good.
Yep.
I think that Dragonflight will be a good, and then adding maybe that FF16 like primer thing.
Sure.
Would be a good option. So like, you can hold the button when talking to Rathian, and it'll be like, yeah, this is who Rathian is.
Yep.
I think that would be a good.
I like
a good system.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I want to figure out how you solve this problem. It's not really a problem because the game itself, like you'll see like dialogue options and stuff. It's like this game does not take itself super seriously.
No. Warcraft in general has always kind of split the difference between wacky, goofy humor and fucking just big superhero type moments.
Right.
That's what it is.
And they'll do some dark stuff too, but it's not like, I don't know, Final Fantasy. There's a different vibe, for sure.
Yes. I do think the Dragon Isles is also it doesn't entirely feel like Warcraft all the time.
Yeah, Dragon Isles, Dragonflight is interesting. I'm generally enjoying it, and especially compared to Legion, I'm like, so far there's like a consistent band of characters that I'm around. Other than some that die, but whatever. That happens.
Yes, I was very sad when that person died. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. Well, but I was happy that the game made me care, because man, Legion, I did not give a fuck. Other than the very beginning death, which is like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, which I mean, and that character that died in the Broken Shore is like, I mean, that was a very long-standing character with the game. So if you played it all since Wrath, yeah. So if you played it all since Wrath, like you knew, like, oh, fuck, yeah. So
that was a rough cutscene to watch. But yeah, no, Dragonflight's been pretty good at making me care generally. But there's still this moment of Rathian gives that dialogue. It's like, oh, you guys have been friends for years, and I would love, like, in a solution where you summed up this character, like, you have to solve for the fact that your character has been around in this world for years as well. and been on adventures. I would love
that one. Just is, you have to make your own RP in your head, I think.
Basically, right?
Because like I look at was it? So, because like I think the solution for that is like you just have to make your own RP, and then it tells you like, well, Rathian did this in their little primer thing. Like I think that's really the only way.
So this would be a fun thing. This would be a little too much work. I don't think they would want to do it. But this gave me an idea. You actually just did it earlier today before the stream started. There's a dragon that asks you to sign in a book.
Yes.
You sign your name, and they give you a bunch of options, including just other people's names to fuck with the book, which I think is hilarious. Your class, I believe, and then the reason you're there. And I clicked the last one, which is, I'm not reading any of this. I'm just here to level. Or is it something equivalent to that?
Yeah.
It was very honest. And I would love like a humorous, like, you fill out a sheet of what your history was, and then like expansions onward, like when they go to refer to your history as a character, they refer back to those dumb little moments, and you create your own lore in that way.
Is they definitely keep track of everything your character has done, because they recently put out the Human Heritage Armor questline, like 2 patches ago. And on this character, I did a questline that is no longer in the fucking game, which is the Onyxia questline.
Okay.
And the Onyxia questline During it, what you get the Drakefire amulet, and you use to go into Anixia's lair and kill her. And that amulet is a big plot point in that quest line. Like it's a big one in the Heritage Armor quest line. So what they do is if you did that quest line back in vanilla or before it got taken out of the game, it'll change the dialogue saying that, oh, it was put in Stormwind Keep and locked away, and it was just like, versus like, yeah, man, it was stolen from you,
right,
out of your bank,
right.
So they obviously keep track of that.
Yeah,
like just like how and they've done that forever, because they did stuff like that in fucking, what was it called, Wrath of the Lich King, or something very similar.
Right. If they could work something in like that for casual fans in a way, I think that would be fun. People who are just getting to learn about, the game.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. And then I also think that the add-on thing is a huge part of the game at this point.
Yep.
And the thing is like, I don't think you can disable add-ons just because of how many like non-combat add-ons are really useful and people like them.
Well, right.
Like TomTom and BTW quests and all the things.
Getting around and doing some things in this game, I was like struggling, and then I eventually just broke down. It's like, Bronson, can you give me the essential add-ons? I need to organize this, or I need to find something specific on a map, I could see how that becomes super helpful. On top of all the silly stuff that you sent me, I am very tempted to download the one where when you die, it plays the Seinfeld bass beat. I really want to do that so bad.
That sounds pretty good.
It's great. Yeah, it's like a 7-second video. I was like, that's incredible.
That's weak auras can be fun.
Yeah.
Look into weak auras when you got the time, man. They can be a lot of fun.
I absolutely will. I have modded my version of Deep Rock Galactic to hell and back, and it's just incredible. So to have that option for World of Warcraft sounds nice. I mean,
yeah, like there's complete UI mods. There's so many different mods for so many different things. There are people I know who play this game and are running like 45 add-ons.
Right.
So it kind of just.
I did look for anyone who might have had the question that I did, and that fog in the distance is just going to be a function of the game. There is no removing it.
Yes, it is. It does depend on some expansions are worse than others.
Yeah, but you can see it right here. Like, you can see that fog in distance, and that's just, you're trying to create this big-ass world. We're going to have simpler textures further away. We want the fog so you don't recognize, like, oh, wow, there's some Quake 1-ass textures back here. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that way you don't have to render everything either.
Right. It's just a bummer. I wish that there was a way to make that work.
That's a tech limit, unfortunately, because
and you can turn up your viewing distance and it gets a little better.
Oh yeah, I turned mine up all the way to 10. And I believe Bronson has his up all the way to 10 as well.
Yep, I just checked to be sure. And then also what you can do also, there are mods to remove that.
So I was trying to find them, but I guess I haven't looked hard enough. I don't know.
I haven't used them in a while. And then on top of the mods, they're also massive performance hogs because
I believe it.
Because it's just like,
but I have
hey,
to
bro.
try.
yeah, like they are.
Let's see. Trying to think about. So my experience, I've been playing Demon Hunter. Trying to get down the proper rotation has not been super intuitive. It's very much looking up the video that says, okay, here is the rotation you want, and then just trying to map out my keys properly and remember.
I have many things to offer.
Here's my opening bit, and then, all right, here are the buttons to generate Fury. I'm going to put that on one row. Here's the moves that expend Fury. I'm going to put that on this row. And just hit stuff on cooldown, and otherwise go. But
Not a bad option.
otherwise, it's been fun. It's a good time for when someone puts down an AOE attack, and I do my backflip, and then they attack, and then I do my fell rush to jump forward. And then get back into my rotation. Jumping and gliding is a lot of fun, though in Dragonflight, you're just kind of on your dragon forever, because flying your dragon is faster and also fun.
Yeah, I will say that I will, like, especially once you level and cap out your dragon.
Yeah.
It is so fun to fly around on the fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm torn between like going and finding all the medallions or whatever they call them, and leveling up my dragon completely, or just going through the story, because the story is going to take you through all those spots as well.
It will, but you won't find all the glyphs unless you're looking for them.
True. Yeah. You gotta keep that in mind.
I did grab them as I went.
Yeah.
So like I got when I got to the point of where, okay, I'm moving on from the Waking Shore to the Onaran Plains. I'm gonna go collect all these in the Waking Shore before I go to the Onaran Plains.
Right.
So on and so on. And then they have 2 zones that they've added in patches, which are the Forbidden Reach and the Zarlet Caverns.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot which dungeon I signed up for.
What dungeon did you sign up for?
You know what? I'm just gonna hang out in Valdraken and wait until they summon me.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna be that dirtbag.
Yeah, look. So yeah, going through the story, I'm enjoying the Dragonflight story compared to Legion so far. Although Legion does have the Demon Hunter specific story that I do want to go and see through. And otherwise, yeah, I've just been doing quests. I have not been doing dungeons hardly at all. That just comes down to me being like nervous running with randos, because like that one dungeon we did did not feel as linear as I was used to, because Final Fantasy is usually a hallway.
The good news about Ruby Life Pools is it's walking about as linear as you can make a WoW dungeon.
Okay, all right, so that's good. At least.
That's nice. I'm trying to think. Okay, what dungeons do you go through in the Dragon Isles? Okay, so you have Ruby Life Pools, fairly linear. No-Coup Defensive is not linear at all. You can approach 3 of the 4 bosses in any way. And there's also dragon riding in that one.
Cool.
Then you have.
But I'm sure that there's a community curated optimal route that may or may not be enforced depending on what group you get.
You go in a circle, left, middle, right, and then last boss.
Got it.
Then Brackenhide Hollow is definitely not linear. Azure Vault is mostly linear unless you really want to do a specific shortcut. I never felt the need to do it other than non-mythic, but Uldaman is mostly linear other than the option to do the first or the second boss first. Let's see. Then you have what the fucking
Did you teleport? Are you part of the group now? Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
All right.
So you have hold on. So
you're getting busy, so we don't have to.
Then you have Halls of Infusion, which is linear except for after the first boss. You have or at the beginning of the dungeon, you have a choice between 2 paths, and after the first boss, you have a choice between 2 paths.
Got it.
So that's kind of the extent of that. And then...
So regardless, I'm probably going to look up a video on each of these dungeons as I approach them.
Yes.
You can, or you can just follow everyone else.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm a DPS, so like no one's gonna follow me anywhere, so that's good.
Yeah, like unless you really want to embrace the glory of tanking.
I
But
absolutely do not. Not in World of Warcraft. Um,
even Anthony's intimidated by WoW tanking.
yeah.
uh, yeah, and Zeppler recently put out a 14 video that I found so shocking and interesting because just like I don't know, it feels like I don't know a lot of people who are, and to be fair, everyone I know who plays 14 except for Ninja and Jerica are, mega casuals.
Right.
So that might be why it is, but um, everyone. So, but back to what I was saying is, like, they're kind of just complaining that it feels like there's not much to do in 14 relative to Endgame at this particular moment, and in
Right.
Endwalker in general,
Yeah.
and that it feels like a very isolated game. Which I don't know. I just found it weird, and then of course the criticism that I always have labeled on Final Fantasy is like, my community is kind of sensitive when you criticize the game at all.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how people are reacting to Zepla. I'm not really paying attention to it at all because it just,
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
know.
and you're also in the casual camp where it's just like, yeah, you're not.
I'm leveling my jobs and crafting and gathering and doing my normals, and that's what I care about.
I mean, there's
So-
there's still a ton of content in the game. I think it's just the
yeah.
people that that have done all the content are out of content to do.
Right, and
Yeah,
you do want to
and-
take care of those people.
Right.
Yeah, I mean those are going to be the people who survive your eventual Shadowlands.
And yeah, exactly right.
Um,
One thing she did say is for this expansion they didn't have a Baja or Eureka, which
Yes.
like if they did that, if they did something like that every expansion, I think that's awesome because I think Baja is great. I think that's a fun time. And the fact they didn't do
I
that
know-
for this expansion is a bummer.
I think enough people complained about Baja that they didn't do on this expansion, and then like the other side became vocal and said, "Where's our Baja?"
There is no
And
winning.
So, no, so I think we're gonna.
that's MMO players in general. Like
Yeah. I know,
that's
right?
one thing. That's one thing that I can say about playing WoW for years is the entire community is arguing about fucking everything.
Well, and, like,
Everything.
people are like, we don't want to grind for relics anymore. Baja is like a waste of time. It's too hard. It's too long. And then they're like, okay, so you just need to get tomestones to get your relic weapons now. And people
And
are
then
like,
now people are.
this is not what we meant. This is not.
Well, yeah, because because the people who also play it for the social element are not being served is basically what she's saying.
Yeah.
Which I mean, yeah, that's as someone who came in at the end of Shadowbringers into Endwalker, for the most part, I leveled a Black Mage like 35 in Heaven's Ward, but like for the most part, it's been from the end of Shadowbringers through Endwalker. Like, yeah, Final Fantasy 14, unless you're in a prog raiding group, it totally feels like a super isolated experience.
Yeah, if
Like,
you
100%.
leave it that way, I mean, I don't know. You go out and talk to people. There's
Mhm.
go to those cafes. Like if you want to get into
Yeah,
that
go to
realm.
those clubs.
But this goes back to the like story thing of like, why would I do that when it's not progressing my character at all? Like that's the that goes back to the like, why would you do the side quests in WoW if not for if there's better ways to make money?
But
better
you're
ways to
talking
get
about about satisfying the social aspect.
Yeah, but they want that while getting progress on their characters.
I mean, there's
like
Party
getting.
Finder. You can still use Party Finder to get into stuff and do that and get that social aspect.
Well, I mean, yeah, but again, that's if we're talking about the end game people, right? These are the people who are like
Yeah,
who
these
have
are,
played all this content, right?
Yeah, like it doesn't satisfy the same thing that like a Mythic Plus Pug does, in regards to that. And then I got a laugh when she compared the Island Sanctuary to the Garrison, and I was just like, wow, that's super harsh.
She's not wrong. The island, like outside of cosmetics, the island sanctuary doesn't even give you anything.
Yeah, the garrison at least gave you shit.
Yeah.
Like, that was, because I haven't fucked around with that. Like, I unlocked it, I was like, oh, I'll get back to this, and then I was just like, oh.
I unlocked it, I looked at some stuff around it, I was like, eh.
Yeah,
I was hoping to have a more Animal Crossing-esque experience with it.
I was expecting Stardew Valley inside of Final Fantasy.
Nah, that as far as I know is not the experience.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting to say the least. But yes, it seems like if you're like me and you are the type of person who does enjoy the social aspect but doesn't give a shit about clubbing outside of like, oh, look at this novelty, like, then you do it once or twice and you're like, I've seen enough of that.
Sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't do Mythic Plus kind of equivalent right.
Well, because like Guild Wars has a version of it too. Like, that's the thing and Destiny kind of has a version of it, where Guild Wars' version is called Fractals, and then Destiny kind of has just multiple versions of the dungeon you can run.
Right.
So it's very interesting to, it's just weird to me that they didn't.
That's
go
weird
that
because
route.
it seemed like a solved problem.
Yeah, it does. Like I think that's, yeah. I don't know. And then I feel like Final Fantasy doesn't utilize its world to the best of its ability. Like, I feel like outside of like hunt trains, there's not a lot of reason to go back out into the open world. It's like that and professions.
Hunt train, fates, and professions.
Yeah, but what do you get out of fates these days?
Tombstones?
Yeah, you can get tombstones, you can get cosmetics, you can get like triple triad cards. You can get a bunch of stuff out of Fate.
Okay.
People do fate farming, fate trains.
Yep.
Man, just
how's it going over there? How you enjoying being on the
Ultimate
ground?
19 is a bitch.
Yeah, that was the other game I played this week was Final Fantasy XIV. Leveled up. I got all my crafting and gathering to above 50 except for fishing.
Nice.
And so I'm technically more than halfway, but there's still a lot of time and money and resources to spend to get things up to where I want them to be. And then I took a break, and now I'm working on leveling some combat jobs, and I'm just switching between, lower stuff like Rogue and Black Mage or Thaumaturge, and some of my higher up stuff, Machinist and all that, and I'm just having a good time. So yeah, I can't compare it to the World of Warcraft experience because I'm not doing dungeons really proper yet. My grasp on the game is still very
very new. You're very fresh. Yeah. I think that I think you'll enjoy WoW just in a very different fashion.
It's just different. I think I'm going to get different things out of it. I'm hoping that I enjoy it on a similar level to Final Fantasy, but yeah, just in that different way. But it remains to be seen.
Yep. So we'll see. Because it's like in my case, like I ended up enjoying Final Fantasy, but I am very much a story mode person now for that game, where I log in, I do the story, I maybe check out an event and then leave.
Yeah.
Like it's just not. I don't feel compelled to do much else.
And that's fine.
Man, what is up with healers in this dungeon?
Do you think it's healers?
Maybe.
But what else could it be?
Well,
I'm just in
If
the
all the
nicest
healers are
way
having problems.
possible.
Yeah, all right, that's another fail group.
Damn.
Yeah, well, once you get into the harder level of content, you know,
Yeah.
it's yeah. Well, it's the thing is like I have a plus 18 timed in this dungeon. It's just like I'm trying to get a little more out of it, and it's just like for whatever reason, just some people cannot hang, man. And it's is what it is.
Is what it is. All right, we've been talking about World of Warcraft and MMOs in general for about an hour, and we are clearly playing an MMO currently, so we're going to talk about it some more. But I just want to weave a couple of other things in here real quick.
Yeah, let's
and
do it.
So first of all, I wanted to start with, hey, were there any other video games and MMOs that we've been playing?
I played 4 hours of Starfield.
4 hours of Starfield, huh?
Hit us with it. Is it worth a shit?
I mean, if you like Bethesda games, it's great.
Okay, what if I
If
am?
you do not like Bethesda games, then it's okay. You're gonna play it on Game Pass anyway, so it's not like you're gonna lose any money.
Right.
If you don't like it, but it's a Bethesda game, but it's in space. So far, I am really enjoying it. The gunplay feels good. My build is feeling okay. I had to take a break this morning though because I somehow ended up somewhere where like everything is a level 20 and I'm a level 5.
Uh-oh.
So I've got to correct course, but I was like, well, this is probably a good point to take a break.
Yeah. Might as well just I'm just gonna pull up a couple news stories that we pulled up on that we just pulled up, such as Starfield is Bethesda's least buggiest game to date, says sources.
You know, I agree with that. I have not run into any bugs yet.
That's kind of nuts.
I saw that Asmongold video where he sure as shit ran into some bugs, but I haven't run into any yet.
That's kind of wild. And then let's see, what was the other one? Starfield design director says you may find God in its space or lose faith. Just talking about the amount of, just like showcasing the amount of content and kind of where they're going with it is kind of ambitious. I can't wait to see what people get themselves into. One thing I've been noticing, we're just going to open this up to talk about our feelings about Starfield, whether we've played the game or not, is I saw that the game gets better after you beat the main story.
Oh, interesting.
Great.
Oh, good.
Is it because you don't have to deal with the writing anymore? Is that...
Yeah, like it's both a pro and a con of like the best of Bethesda, big world content, I guess, right? Is like the best stuff is side quests, it's all the stuff that you explore and find, but it's not the main story. I think that's hilarious. And difficult to sell a game with.
Yes.
If that appeals to you, great. If not, the response I've been seeing has been very mixed. A lot of people saying this is exactly the game I was hoping for, and then some people just trashing it, and then some people that are like, no, this game actually has problems, and trying to find that middle ground between them all, without just fully, spoiling whatever's going on in this game is difficult. So, yeah, I don't know. But this is, Jesse, this is one of those games. It feels like this giant world, but just space.
Yeah, I mean, like most of what I've done is just exploring. I'm obviously not paying any attention to the main story right now by getting to a place that's like really over leveled for where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
But like it's a giant open world. They have kind of that like escaping the vault moment that they had in Fallout 3 that they've been trying to capture in all of their games since Fallout 3.
Yep.
It's not nearly as good, but
okay.
Like I mean, I don't know. There are some issues with the writing, but I think like the core gameplay loop for me at least has been very solid.
Okay.
Also, fun little nice moment in the Mythic Plus community here. I joined a group and someone's like, "Hello, friend." Kid in the chat, one of the party members, is like, "Oh, I know this guy. He's a great tank." And
Oh
I'm just like,
wow.
that's real. That's heartwarming.
Yeah,
What
that's
that
nice to
is.
see.
Sorry, go on though.
No, it's good. Gotta highlight those moments, in World of Warcraft specifically when you can, but just in MMOs in general. Yeah, I don't know where all the rest of us are gonna get to check out Starfield when it comes out for the rest of us. It's on Game
On
Pass.
Thursday,
So...
I believe it is.
Oh, Thursday,
Yeah,
really?
Tuesday.
Okay, all right.
The premium edition gets you 5 days early access, so I got access Thursday night, so it should be Tuesday.
Should be Tuesday. Okay. I might get a
Oh,
taste of it. I'm gonna be going out of town this week, so
I'm trying to think. Tuesday. What do I don't? I mean, we have a stream, but if you're out of town, never mind.
well Tuesday I'm not out of town, so
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
we could try it.
Yeah, we might try it. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how we're feeling. We're deep in an MMO hole, so maybe we continue that. Just an advertisement to those of you. We have a Tuesday stream where we usually play. We'll play some other games if there's like a big release that we have access to and things like that. But otherwise, we're playing MMOs. So if you enjoyed that first hour of MMO talk, we got a whole stream where that happens. So let's talk about this story. This is a pretty decent story right here. PlayStation Plus is raising membership prices significantly starting September 2023.
I've already canceled my subscription.
So the monthly, what is the monthly price? This is not telling me the monthly price here.
$12, I think.
Well, so the essential version yearly is $80 a year now.
Yeah, that's a $20 price hike.
For the yearly, and then I'm trying to find. This article doesn't say what the monthly is, but Jesse, you were saying like what, 12, 13?
I think it's like $12.99.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Wait, did they up the monthly price on all of them, or just that one?
Yeah, no, they're upping the monthly and
All
the
of
annual
them.
price on all of them.
Yep.
All of them are getting like a 20 to 30% price increase.
Yep.
What's the price? What's the price of their one that used to be like $17? What's that now?
If it's going up 30%, it's probably going to be like $20.
Can you guys pull that up from the article?
I'm gonna find a different article because this one's not telling the
because
monthly.
it looked like it was because remember what I remember reading, it was only the yearly, not monthlies getting increased.
Let's see. Let's give Polygon a shot. What do we got here? Yeah, this seems to suggest it's only the yearly, which is
weird.
Well, that's still it's because it's still cheaper than what the monthly is why.
True, but how much cheaper?
I think in the case of the tier I'm on, instead of being $160 a year, paying for the yearly is or paying for the monthly ends up being like $25 to $30 more expensive, something like that. So
we're going to $80 for essential, $135 for extra, and $160 for premium.
And then what's 18 times 12?
You're gonna make me do math on this?
I know.
It's $216.
So yeah, you're saving like $36.
Okay. Got people talking about canceling their subs in these comments, but
yeah, you know how that goes.
yeah.
I mean, I've already done. already done it. So like
Right.
I don't know. I haven't claimed a PS Plus game in a while.
Yeah, there's that.
Like I don't play online. I don't play any online PlayStation games.
Yep.
All my PlayStation games are single player.
So
Like
in
I
my
don't know. It doesn't serve any purpose for me.
Right.
So in my case, it's two things that are kind of why I'm keeping mine active. Is the first one is I play all my fighting games on PlayStation, so that's the first one. Second reason is as far as the like I'm in like their high end tier. And it's mainly just because there were a couple games I wanted to try, and my girlfriend is in the middle of playing Okage Shadow King, and that is on that service. And so yeah, and to be fair, they just added Sea of Stars to it, like Gamekast did.
Right.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
What up, Pokerjack Gamble?
Yo.
We're number one. We know.
Pokerjack Gamble in the chat.
So
I mean, I've got a large enough backlog that I don't think it's worth it for me to get Game Pass or PlayStation Plus.
Right. Yeah.
Game Pass is a big part of my backlog, actually.
So okay, so it doesn't seem like it's affecting the monthly. However, as seen by these comments as well as Jesse's comments here, it's a good opportunity to reflect on how you're using your PlayStation Plus, which for some
Yes.
people may find, hey, wait a minute.
But I also think that most people are not. It's the same thing as the Netflix. It's just going to be
Oh yeah.
people, yeah, like it's going to be the same shit. And maybe I'm just super jaded.
No,
maybe,
it's well earned. I think most
Yeah,
people,
I think-
will not change.
I think people are just gonna bitch and complain about it, and then nothing will happen.
These are the same people who bought a Last of Us remake like 3 years after another remake, like whatever.
Right.
Let's see. Last of Us, that came out last year, so they bought it 8 years later.
There was
Yeah.
was it a remaster?
Yeah, so there was the original release, and then a year later they did the PS4 version, which ran at 60 and was actually like a pretty good size upgrade.
Sure.
And then they did the PS5 version last year, which was basically, hey, we upgraded to 4K 60, took out the multiplayer for some reason, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Didn't they do a PS5 version of the remaster?
That is the.
I mean,
no.
they didn't do a PS5 version of the remaster, but they did the remake.
Yeah, well, it's not a remake. It's just dude. It's basically the same game.
I know. That's the thing.
Well, and I think that's Aaron's point, is that it's the same.
They'll,
game,
and
same
they'll
release time.
happily pay that money again. So yeah, like these,
I mean,
these
like,
are the
yeah,
people.
it's like, do you want to play the PS4 version without the multiplayer and some of the without the multiplayer running at 4K and with some upgraded assets that were used in the second game?
Right.
That's basically the equivalent of it.
Yeah.
And you know, like, then people paid. How much was that damn thing? Hold on, I believe to say it was $50. They didn't charge the full 70 for that, did they?
I don't see why they shouldn't.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
look. What was it called? Last of Us Remaster PS5 or something.
Yeah.
Last of Us Remastered Part 1. Let's check the PlayStation Store here. This is Last of Us Remastered, which I think is the PS4 one, because that says
yeah.
20
So just
bucks.
look up Last of Us Part 1, I believe it's called.
Okay.
So.
All right, so let's see. PlayStation.com. You're gonna give me the price here? Come on, upsell me on this game. They're charging 70 bucks here.
Yep.
Yep.
Full
And
price.
that I remember that game sold like crazy.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, they'll just buy shit. So like, yeah,
No,
most people will
and
do it.
I want to pick that up because I love that game. It's just I'm not gonna pay $70 for it. Get fucked.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No. So yeah, that'll hold in place.
Yep. So people just fucking like it's. Oh lordy.
What it
That's
is. Another story regarding some monthly, or not monthly, but it's a similar story. Microsoft completely recently nerfed $1 Xbox Game Pass trial. Let's see here.
Want to play Starfield? You got to pay at least $15.
Yep. Right before Starfield, they said nah.
Unless you're on PC, then it's 10.
Right, of course.
Yeah, but yeah.
So yeah, which again, like Starfield is so central to Xbox's strategy in this moment in time. I am
and
not
it's
surprised.
so big. Like, yeah, it's just. But whenever I hear shit like this, it's just like trying to squeeze blood from the stone.
I know.
But on the other side of that, how much do you want to bet once Starfield goes into a lull, they're gonna be like, "Hey, the $1 trial is back."
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I bet they do it after the holiday season, after Forza launches. And...
Yep. But like, I'd rather this than completely sabotage Redfall.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
which they also did.
Which they also did. Microsoft.
Yeah, they put out. They put out that. They put out that Uncharted remaster of Lost Legacy and 4 for $50.
Yeah, they did.
And they haven't been particularly the most generous about upgrades either. Like they were doing paid upgrades for a lot of games for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Versus Microsoft was just like have them free.
Right.
So.
All right. Time for some sad news.
Alright.
Volition is no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when you make bad video games that don't sell, that's what happens.
So I never played the new Saints Row.
It wasn't very good from everything I heard.
I remember watching Jeff Gersman's video, and that game was not put together. More bugs than the newest Bethesda release.
That says something right there.
It says a ton.
Yep. And yeah. So the most interesting thing about Volition, in my mind, is there is a split among the fans of Saints Row. Every time you enter a comment section about Saints Row, there are fans of different portions of the franchise. However, they tried to reboot it, and in rebooting it, they tried to make something it wasn't. And none of those fans of any of those factions were happy, on top of the fact that the game did not function well. And yeah, everything went down. So rest in peace, Volition. Saints Row was something.
What was everyone's favorite Saints Row?
I mean, due to just my experiences, my limited experiences with Saints Row, it's probably 3.
Fair. I like 3 a lot. 3's pretty good.
I played the hell out of the demo of Saints Row 1.
Yeah, that's a big same on my part as well.
That was I never got to play the full game, but Saints Row 1 really piqued my interest.
I rented the full game. It was it was very much, hey, we made a GTA clone.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my problem, right? I've only played Saints Row 1, and I was like, why would I play this when I can just play GTA? And then immediately
because in the later ones it gets crazy.
That's the thing. So Saints Row 2 recognized this problem and said, we are going to get as ridiculous and weird as possible. And
then 3 took that to the next level.
So
and then
there are thoughts that people have, and again, I don't want to speak entirely on their behalf because I don't fully understand. But they do stuff with the third game that people who are fans of 2 were not happy about.
Like what?
Again, I can't articulate it because I don't understand it because I haven't played 2, I guess. But there are people who talk about 2 talk about Saints Row in such a way that like the best of Saints Row, like the franchise was essentially just dead after 2. Whereas Bronson, you and I were in, following Giant Bomb and other circles where it was like we were discovering Saints Row, especially with 3. Like, holy shit, this.
Yeah, like I played the other ones, but like the point where I was like Saints Row is awesome was 3.
Right, like that intro sequence
then...
where you jump out of the plane and then have to land back in the plane and jump out again.
Yeah, like that was sick. I really liked the I really liked 4. Like I thought 4 was just like, yes, this is the only place you can go with this now. Why would you not go here?
Right. Which I felt like 2 on the surface was similar to that. Some people are fans of 3 and then say it died with 4, and it's like, wasn't 4 more of 3? I don't.
4, okay, so 4 went like way over the top. Like you had superpowers and shit.
Right.
So.
And I do remember that, but like that seemed like in the same vibe. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, poker, the stuff on Gamekast that I want to play counts as a backlog.
Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah. It's if it goes away, then it's on my backlog, but it's somewhere else.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I'm just gonna look through these comments real quick, but yeah, this is just a bunch of. Oh, this is on LinkedIn. No wonder. I'm like, why are these? These all sound like developers. It's because they're developers. I just came across Adam Boyce, talking about Volition. Yeah. So, rest in peace, Volition. Rest in peace, Saints Row. It's over.
Yep. GG's.
Yep. Let's see. SAG-AFTRA National Board votes unanimously to send interactive media strike authorization vote to members. So, hey, video game people, working actors in video games. I'm assuming this is voice actors, but also I would assume like motion
capture.
Yeah,
motion capture actors too.
Yep.
It's weird to me that they weren't included in like the original strike.
Yeah, that's weird.
Video games are always the second banana in Hollywood. You know how that is.
Oh, I thought I thought you were referring to an earlier interactive media strike.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought you guys were referring to the like current thing that's going on.
That's so. If it's relating to the current thing that's going on with actors, then yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the conversations are like, but yeah, this is a good time. Like, a lot of strikes are happening, and a lot of like, man, I was pursuing voice acting, and I still kind of want to, but bills are not getting paid there. I came across a comment where someone was a prominent voice actor in a BioShock game and was working, a day job at the same time because the voice acting in this super popular game was not paying his bills. Like, that's fucked.
Well, I mean, yeah, you want to talk about fucking shit that's you want to talk about the issue with voice acting, like, or acting in general, like, what was it? 85% of the people in SAG-AFTRA don't have enough work to qualify for the insurance.
Yep. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so people have been needing to get paid. And recently learning about how the film industry depended on DVD sales, like this streaming deal had to happen years ago. So hopefully they find something that happens here. But yeah, video games and man, anime too. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, anime is especially fucked. Like, you hear about the working conditions of animators in anime, voice actors in anime.
Yep.
And holy shit.
Yep. I think it's like some Disney special effects people started unionizing. I was like, good. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, this is going to start happening in almost every industry, I guarantee you.
I would like that to happen. That would be great.
Because, like, I want to point this out. So everyone I know who works a trade, like a union trade, the electricians I know, the the roofers I know who are in the union, the carpenters I know that are in union. Every single one of those dudes has nothing bad to say about his job. Is getting paid well, is in a good spot.
Right.
Like, yep.
But there is also a lot of anti-union sentiment from people who either misinformed by the company themselves, or some people do have some genuinely bad experiences by some badly run unions, but those are, as far as I can tell, few and far between compared to the benefits of what you get with the union.
Yeah, yes, there are unions that are bad and overextend themselves. Like, let's not fucking...
Or that don't actually do anything.
Or they
or they don't actually do anything.
Right.
Yeah, like absolutely. That is a total fucking thing that exists, but like
it's again like the benefits of a union right now where prices are continuing to go up, housing is getting bought by fucking companies. So you want to talk about fucking housing. Okay, so the rule with a mortgage is the most it should be is about a third of your income is how much your mortgage should be. Right.
And like, or when you buy a house, the most it should be is 3 times what you make in a year.
Right.
Okay. Which means, in my and my girlfriend's case, if we wanted to buy a house, then we would be able to buy a house that's around $250,000 to $260,000.
Right.
Which, 3 years ago was the average price for a house.
In
Yeah. In the United States.
Oh, just generally, okay.
Yes. So that
I'm thinking about Reno's situation. Like,
back then, 4 or 5 years ago, it was probably in the $300K ballpark.
Okay.
So still doable, but things would be tight for us.
Yeah.
Versus now, it's $500,000.
Yep.
$500,000.
Yep. And and so more and more people need to try and make a living wage, and it's just not happening. So,
the median income in Reno is like, I think it's $42K, and last month the median home price for houses sold was $600K.
Jesus.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's nuts because and that's literally exactly what I make total, like 43.5 in a year. So it's like, at my current job.
Yep.
And do you want to hear something really fucked? Okay, Microsoft, one of the biggest companies on the whole fucking planet, right?
Uh-huh.
And what they pay their vendors, like the one I was working with, most people on that floor had second jobs.
Right. That's
because
crazy.
they were making anywhere from 16 to 19 an hour for the average worker. And then I think I remember talking to my manager, who, granted, he was a new manager, he was making like 44K a year. Which, if that wage scaling scales, then his boss is probably somewhere around 50K, being a manager of 2 big Microsoft federal projects.
That's ridiculous.
That is crazy.
Yep. So the question is, can we get everyone on board with unionizing and getting better pay and getting people reasonable health insurance and all that stuff?
Yes, and the answer is, if it gets bad enough, yeah, sure.
And that's the thing, man. I really hope this wave starts something more. And even if it doesn't, I hope the people that are currently striking get what they're asking for. Because honestly, some of the things that they're asking for is less than what they deserve.
Yes, you are 100% correct.
Well, look, all the shit around AI, like, I totally get it. Totally get why you would ask for for some of that stuff. Like, okay, you're an extra, right? But we can continue to use your likeness after you appear in a movie with AI and CGI. And I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, that's absurd.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely absurd. Yeah.
Well, so yeah. Good luck. And this is just the national board voted unanimously to send a strike authorization to those members. So I don't think the vote has actually happened yet. This is just an authorization to have the vote to strike. Let's see. Preparation of the union's forthcoming bargaining dates with signatory video game companies, which include Activision, Blind Light, Disney Character Voices, EA Productions, Epic Games, Insomniac Games, Take-Two Productions, WB Games, and a couple people like Formosa and VoiceWorks.
3, 2.
So, yeah. Good luck to them. Hopefully they get what they want.
It's you know, it's not a big ask.
It isn't. It really isn't.
And you know, that's I mean, and that's the sad part about most of this. It's just like,
Yep.
this is not a big ask. But you know, like you got these, and you want to hear something? Like I'm on TikTok and I watched this video about this like Wall Street investor for a company, seeing how the employees of that company actually live.
Mm-hmm.
And just being like shocked, like just like, well, this company made all this money. Is it not taking care of its people? Like, no.
Nope.
Like what? Like
shareholders taking care of the shareholders.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're taking care of you,
Right.
which is great. And the healer just left. Cool.
Oh, cool. Good.
Yep. Because somebody called him out for not doing mechanics.
Well, maybe he should do mechanics.
Are you
Easy
still planning
solution.
on? Are you still planning on 19?
That was 16. But...
Wow. All right. This is rough. Not doing mechanics on like that level of mythic seems odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially
well,
when you
it's-
have things like DBM and GTFO and all those other
just-
add-ons that do it for you. Like,
yeah, like you know, you have add-ons that are like, don't stand in bad.
Yep.
Stands in bad. You know.
Wild.
And like this one wasn't even a reaction time thing, because there are some of them that are like totally based on reaction time.
sure.
Yeah.
You know, like that, and that's, you know, like, hey, if you don't got it, you don't got it.
Right.
But like, yeah, I don't.
Man. All right. Hey, you want to
Oh,
get to a
no.
fun story?
Sure, I like fun stories.
Sea of Stars has sold 100,000 copies on day one.
Hell yeah, it has.
It is crazy considering you can get it in Game Pass and on PS Plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's $35 also for an indie game.
Right. Yes.
Oh god, I'm in a queue for something super baby mode easy because I have reputation stuff to grind for.
There you go.
I haven't started playing Sea of Stars yet, but I kickstarted it, so I got my key.
Right.
I want to put time into it. I have it downloaded on my PlayStation and on my PC. So. Yep.
All right. Well,
Looking
so
forward to it. I just have a ton of stuff to play.
there's so many games out right now, man.
All those COVID games are coming out now.
Yep. Jesus. Game looks cool.
It does. It looks really good.
So yeah. And then final story. Jesse, I was given an URL and to a ESRB page, and it's broken. So what is the story?
My guess is that it got taken down because it was a leak. The Ubisoft has not announced this game, but the ESRB released a rating for a 20th anniversary edition of Beyond Good and Evil.
Is that so?
Yeah,
Alex draws a charge.
we're gonna get a
Interesting.
20th edition game before we get Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I mean, could it be conceivable that they release this 20th anniversary edition to drum up interest in a?
But they're already working on a sequel.
I know.
If it exists, if the sequel actually exists.
That's
sure.
the thing. Yes. Like again, this is to me. This is like, okay, if I'm running a video game business and I have control of a beloved property, and it makes sense to, when you're working on reviving said property, to have like a, you know, big anniversary thing to drum up interest. And if there are low sales, then I'm you know, well, I would still put it out. But if I was a heartless bastard, put those people on Starfield.
That's right.
Yep.
And then release the game anyway. And say, this game is bad because of you.
This is your fault.
It made me think of that old JonTron video where he was so mad about Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and
Yeah, man, he was real mad about a really great game because he's dumb. Okay.
he really wanted the traditional Banjo experience, and so he was running around on this map, and he's like, why is there all this open space with nothing to do? And he was like, maybe this was supposed to be Banjo 3, and then they just switched it around at some point. I don't know. Maybe.
Fair enough.
And that's the news. Let me spend some time. I'm gonna pull up a page, see if we can find anything else that might be.
I feel like there was something we missed.
I don't know. Is Gamescom still sort of going on, or is that over?
I think that's over. Oh, they put out the trailer for that gameplay for that one chick in Street Fighter.
Oh yes, Aki, aka.
Yeah.
She looks nuts. She's got some. She got some slight Voldo vibes.
Yeah,
A little
yeah,
bit.
she does.
And yeah, she's great.
Looking forward to getting frustrated playing against her.
Yeah, I want people to really utilize that move where she just lies down on her back and crawls forward.
Mm-hmm.
Looks so gross and uncomfortable.
I know, it's great. Let's see. Nintendo showcases 20 minutes of Mario Bros. Wonder gameplay.
That looks pretty good.
It looks like a Mario game. Let's see. Square Enix confirms Final Fantasy XVI PC version and DLC plans.
Cool.
That happened like yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going through the week here.
Yeah, tons of gaming leaks and slash or rumors.
Right. Chinese room.
There's a lot of stuff around Persona.
Oh, okay.
And people are just getting crazy.
I think they are.
Yeah. Chinese room is taking over Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Fair.
I'm glad that was finally announced. Like there have been rumors swirling around that they've been working on it for a while.
Well done.
Right. Well, you know, that game was popular as shit.
Not when it came out.
Not when it came out,
Yeah,
but
it's a good game. I don't know if you've played it, but it's a.
I have
it's a
not, but
fantastic-
I've heard people talk about that game a lot.
It is so good.
Suda and Nagoshi, NetEase has given us freedom. That's always happy to hear. Go do
Weird.
cool stuff, Suda.
Go make crazy drug projects.
Yes.
Go forth and do your thing.
I have a friend who is currently playing through Killer 7 again and cannot stop thinking about Killer 7 and how great it is.
Right on.
Yeah, it's a good time. Let's see. From Software is investigating Armored Core 6 PC save data issues.
Huh.
Keep clearing them out. Do not let the
There's a rumor that we're gonna get a state of play this month. I don't know
Oh,
if
really?
it's in conjunction with the price increase or if it's something else or related to something else. But
I think it's gonna be mostly related to fucking Spider-Man out in a month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
people are saying we're gonna see stuff like the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, Persona 6 news.
Let's fucking Jesus. How many times do people gotta fall for
Maybe.
this shit?
I
a
don't know.
Bloodborne
That
remaster.
technically
Oh yeah,
possible.
that's fake. That's fake. That's fake.
Wait,
That's
what is?
gotta be fake.
Bloodborne remaster.
Oh my god, they should.
Bloodborne
but-
anime. Bloodborne anime.
That's right. I've been hearing about that. What you can do? Okay.
Dude, make it really dark and gross and fucked up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
News on a Horizon remaster. God of War DLC.
Okay.
The last pool is
Uh,
As long as those
people
PlayStation people
are-
keep spending that money, I guess.
People are saying
and they're
that
gonna.
Blue Point is working on a Legend of Dragoon remake.
Oh.
The fact that Bloodborne is in this list is what leads me to believe it's fake.
Right.
Right, it's
They should do it, and that's why they're not gonna do it.
No. I mean, we know, so for Persona 6, we know that Atlas is working on it, and we know that the theme is going to be black and white.
is
Right.
that
So there's-
confirmed? Did they say that?
There have been images that have been leaked, like title screen cards and things like that.
Okay.
So people are pretty convinced that black and white is going to be the colors for this Persona.
I mean, it's a good look.
Yeah. As far as like Sega goes, Sonic, Jet Set Radio, Comic Zone, and Guardian Heroes are all getting new games, according to these rumors. There's a Persona Party game in development that'll be similar to Mario Party. Switch 2 is going to have a camera.
protect these life
Oh.
pools.
Final Fantasy VII R will likely be a launch game for the Switch 2.
Also leads me to believe fake.
Yeah, well, and like the thing that really kind of sealed the deal for me on it being fake is that they're like, it runs like a PS5 game, and I'm like, what? What?
Like,
Are you kidding me?
how?
Yeah. Excuse me?
Sony's remote play thing gets a November release date. Okay,
Yeah, you can pre-order that now.
great.
Yeah, I'm sure. Why not just use a backbone in your phone?
$200.
That's way cheaper.
$200.
Yeah, a backbone in your phone is like 100. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Why?
Or if you have a Steam Deck, you can get Chiaki.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Why would you ever?
Boo. Oh, did you guys see the new Mario Switch OLED?
Yeah, that was kind of lame in all honesty.
They could have done more.
Like
I like that red, but they could have done more with.
Yeah, I like the red and I like the little thing on the back, but compare that to the Pokemon one or the Zelda one or the Splatoon one.
Yep.
And it's
So why
like,
are
what
they
the fuck?
adding, like, it's got coins on the back door, on like the inside of the back door, like,
The inside of the back door. Okay.
and a little
Well, no,
Mario,
no.
and a little Mario like icon. Like, is that it? And like the Mario
Well,
icon's even hidden behind the
no,
door too. Like, you're never gonna see
I-
this.
No, the Mario icon's on outside the door. It's outside it.
Oh, is it
But,
outside?
like,
Okay.
But like the thing is it looks like the Mario icon's going into like one of the shadow level things that you do in Mario. You know, when you go in the cave and you pick up coins in like a hidden room. Like that's what they're trying to emulate with it. But yeah,
When are you gonna look at it? Like, it's behind the thing. Like,
whenever
back.
you're, yeah, no, it's dumb. It's like, yeah. I mean, I guess if you have my thing where you have to hook your shit into a capture card, but yeah.
you should have just labeled it a red edition.
Yeah, just say red. Like it can be red.
You know, yeah. Well, they wanted to have something to line up with Mario Wonder, I'm guessing.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. So this is fun. Call of Duty is getting a new AI-powered voice chat moderation system.
This is not going to go well.
No, it's not.
The player count's gonna go way down.
Call of Duty's new voice chat moderation system utilizes ToxMod, the AI-powered voice chat moderation technology from Modulate, to identify in real time and enforce against toxic speech, including hate speech, discriminatory language, harassment, and more. I cannot wait to see how this thing malfunctions.
These angry 13-year-olds. Maybe Call of Duty will be worth playing again. Not gonna have to deal with angry children anymore.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
you don't-
maybe,
you
but
don't
then
have
it
to
could.
now. Just turn off voice chat. There you go.
There's that, and then also like I'm gonna get, but then I'm gonna get called toxic by this AI because I said a word that sounds similar to a word that they're looking for, and and I get a strike or something. I don't know. We'll see how their system works, but it's like,
Yeah, no.
I don't
Do
trust
not have
this at all.
Do not have faith. Do not have faith.
It
at
said
all.
20% of players didn't re-offend after getting a first warning, while those that did receive penalties including voice and text chat bans and temporary account restrictions. I mean, I feel like voice and text chat bans would be enough.
Mhm.
Not really a chance to re-offend,
Yeah.
but whatever. Weird. Okay. Good luck, everyone. Let's see. Former PlayStation exec joins Xbox to lead Japanese partnerships. Interesting.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see.
My goods are exquisite.
Family new chapter. That's a good move for Microsoft because, man, everything they've tried up to this point has not been working.
Pretty much.
And to get someone from PlayStation, that
is actually a win for them.
that is a win. So
All right. Well, I think that's it for the news, right? I'm not finding anything.
yeah, I'm gonna look through for a little more. Oh yeah, the hilarious title of Elder Scrolls 6 is officially in early development. Like, great. Thanks.
Why did you show that trailer?
Right.
Well, hasn't Todd Howard complained about that? He's like, I wish we hadn't shown. I wish Microsoft didn't make the decision to show that trailer when they did.
Was that when Microsoft made that decision?
No, Microsoft didn't make that decision.
That was earlier.
Before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he said that he wishes that trailer hadn't been shown when it did.
Oh, okay, yeah, and that's fair enough. Good, probably should have not done that. And I'm gonna end with the best news of all. Imagine Dragons has recorded an official song for Starfield. So there you go.
Great.
I actually did manage to get two stories. The Super Mario Brothers Wonder producer wants to inspire the next generation of Nintendo developers.
Ooh.
I'm very interested to see how players of the younger generation interact with Mario. How do they play Mario? How does that differ from how the way I traditionally played Mario? How do they think of him as a character?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is Disney is currently blocking Charter Spectrum viewers from viewing its channels.
Oh.
Charter Spectrum is the second largest cable TV service in the U.S., and the removal of Disney-owned cable networks comes at a time when, stuff that they own, such as part of the NFL and college football, and the Open Tennis Tournament are getting up there. Charter explained how Disney wants the channel bundle, a tactic where a company forces a cable provider to carry and pay for less popular and viewed channels in exchange for the more widely and popular channel. The rising cost of programming is the single greatest factor in the higher cable TV prices, Charter explained, and we are fighting hard to hold the line on programming rates as opposed on us by companies like Disney. This would not be Disney's first time keeping its channels off of service. In 2021, YouTube TV subscribers lost access to Disney networks for 2 days after two companies failed to strike a new deal. A similar incident occurred in 2022 between Disney and Dish. So, Disney throwing its Disney weight around.
Great. Thanks,
I'm
Disney.
waiting for the Disney cable network or infrastructure.
Yeah, right.
It's called Disney Plus. It's just that where cable is.
No, I mean Disney is a cable provider and internet provider.
Right.
It's gonna happen.
I mean, they're big enough.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They are big enough. Hey, Lara Croft's coming to Call of Duty. That's fun.
Weird, but all right.
Yeah, it's weird. And then here's the actual best news to end this. Suda51 would like to make a new Shadows of the Dam game with Shinji Mikami involved.
Hell yes.
That'd be a hell of a game.
My friend, our history together is
but
Surely
I think that's gonna do it. Let's see. Tuesday we might play Starfield. We might play some MMO stuff.
Yeah.
You'll have to wait and see. And Thursday we're gonna try and do some Dark Souls. I'm gonna be out of town, but I'm gonna try and bring my computer with me, so hopefully I can still run things. We'll see.
All right.
And
Sounds great.
yeah, all right. Thank you everyone for coming in. Be sure to join the Discord, follow, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Bye, guys.
See ya.